we got Costa and Jaws who are bringing all the action for this one. Toronto, yes? Nay?
Big vibes. Honestly,
Let's go. Big
vibes? Okay, I don't know if I would predict the Toronto Defiant, but the vibes are definitely at a all-time high. I like the rebuild as well. Is it enough to beat Boston? They had one good win. They had 2 good wins. It was pretty scrappy against the Vancouver Titans. Maybe in an extra week, they could have tightened some things up.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I like the vibes, but actually, the safest bet is going Boston Uprising.
I thought you'd be
Don't
a
want to
vibes
stick your
guy.
neck out
I thought
there.
you were a vibes guy.
No, I'm just a Boston Uprising guy, Rizzup.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Remember, you are Boston's villain. I am the knight in shining
That's actually
armor.
true. We are the dichotomy of the Boston Uprising. We see the complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I've actually really liked what I've seen from the Boston Uprising so far since the midseason. They're starting to make me believe, but they had a pretty sketchy match against the Vegas Eternal. I don't know if that speaks more to Boston Uprising struggling or the Vegas Eternal improving.
Yeah, there's always that question. And I gotta say, Toronto Defiant, like Spectra, Hydron, I think their best DPS lineup, like
Decay, Birdring.
I know, don't get me wrong. Yeah, obviously I'm voting Boston in this one, obviously because of Birdring, but I think Spectra's been a mad asset to this team, and Hydron's always been the consistent factor. And Jake's got some mad merit too. If we go to a Circuit Royale, which we will, because we guaranteed plays at least 3 maps, like Colosseo is going to be on the Sigma. And I would take Colosseo's Sigma, honestly, versus Smurfs. I mean, Smurf is a very, very good all-rounded tank, but that's Colosseo's best hero. Like, that's tough to go up against.
And in general, as Johnny and Jake were talking about on the desk, Boston Uprising, they've really been a one-trick pony for the most part in this stage from the first 2 matches they've played. They want to stick towards that Tracer Sombra. They can play other things. They are going to play other things on these types of maps. But for the most part, that's their comfort. Why the Defiant, it feels like they're still trying to find their identity and they're sort of playing fast and loose with their compositions.
Oh, I do want to see some Rhine, though. No!
They were pausing to have a gentleman's agreement that they will both play Reinhardt.
Go Rhine? Go Rhine, maybe? Yes. I hope so. Rhine's always fun to watch.
When you're looking at the Toronto Defiant, you have to really keep an eye on Spectra, the new player coming in for this team. He is just a menace. And he was hyped up joining this team. A lot of people were surprised this was sort of his first debut in the Defiant, but he stepped up in a big way. He's an incredibly flexible player that works well alongside Hydron. And then you have Opener as well, who seems to have shored up a lot of the issues that the Defiant were having in that backline. OG was a phenomenal player and he's doing well on the New York Excelsior now, but Opener and Ultraviolet, they've been able to stand up for themselves a little bit more. But it's important to keep in mind, the Toronto Defiant, they didn't take down top-tier teams. They beat the Vancouver Titans in a map 5, close map 5, and then they beat the Los Angeles Valiant. So they haven't been tested in a big way, and I think Boston Uprising is a great test for this.
It's a perfect test, yeah. I kind of love to talk about Spectra. I mean, he's been on some of the most dominant, like, Tier 2 contenders teams for a while, like Team CC, O2 Blast, like, dude's been around, and it feels like if you're on those teams, it's only a matter of time before you get to the league, and glad to see him in, and Hydron's another player that's impressed a lot of people, and should do, rightfully so. His Sojourn has been so sick throughout the year, but he is playing the Sim here. It's just Sim May Mirror.
Both teams. Yeah, both teams playing the exact same composition. Boston Uprising are the ones that get the first level of control. Wall's pretty good.
Wow. Dodging his ice scores quite well. Jeez, that was almost a headshot from Decay from across the map. Oh man, the Sim May.
Ultraviolet window, he's getting it exceptionally quick, but Twilight's mirroring the same level.
So much damage though, look at that, Lamp already forced out. Hydron's on the high ground, someone's got to get him! Oh, he's up to Twilight, good jump from Twilight though! A Smurf just cleaves around, but Colosseo, 2 kills, 1 smack onto Smurf and Birdring. That's a great team kill there. Toronto Defiant take the first fight.
And that was just Ultraviolet. He got his amplification matrix, dropped it instantly. He had a great positioning as well, tending over towards the outside area, and he just instantly popped someone with that as well. So now they get the first level of control as the other ultimates start to come online. Both Earth Shatters, we know how much of a mind game that is. Spectre and Decay actually both lagging behind on the main.
Okay, nice TP. Digigon takes a fire strike though. Yeah, you got to clear those turrets. Spectre falls first. Luge with the shatter and with a ward advantage here, he can play super aggressive. Nice dodge from Colosseo. It's just the wall there. However, Smurf does end up falling regardless of that shatter not hitting. Sound barrier invested for the Boston Uprising. They're in a 4v4, but they have Colosseo to get through. There's just no way you're going to get through a Reinhardt, and he's just going to split the entire team up. Good lamp from Ultraviolet.
Blizzard?
Twilight does take 2, and there you go. Actually, a Blizzard separating them. So, I feel like Boston Uprising baiting them into separate it. Toronto Defiant, whoa, we can just run them down. They're on the outside, but Decay with a very late Blizzard. They do take control. Smurf rejoins the fights. Ultraviolet dying last means they're going to be able to hold at least a little bit of a forward position now.
Absolutely, a little bit of overconfidence there from the Defiant, and Uprising punishing them for it. Decay's so smart at realizing when you can turn the tide of a fight.
Oh, nice. Nice patience there by Twilight. Still get a decent-ish angle. You can heal the rest of the team. Oh, those turrets. Oh, hello. Oh, who's this? Oh, lamp forced by Opener. They actually killed Twilight. Twilight's 50 HP, has no shift. I mean, Opener can kill him, yeah. Opener just dancing on his head. And there was no heals for Smurf there at all. You were just having the Lucio maybe getting the amp, but that's about it. Opener with a perfect pick.
We were talking about these new rookies coming into this team and what they offer the Defiant, and Opener showing he's willing to go toe-to-toe with Twilight on that Baptiste. Almost single-handedly wins that fight. Even if he didn't win the 1v1, he took enough pressure away from the rest of his team that absolutely punishes Twilight for a pretty greedy position. Now 71% and counting. Colosseo up to another Earth Shatter.
Whoa. Okay. Thought Lijigon was going to get sniped there. TP across. Hydron 35 HP as he takes the TP. A dangerous affair at the best of times.
Spectre down early. Ultraviolet follows. That almost felt too easy for the Uprising. They just walked in, found some picks, and had a great day with it. While the Defiant didn't use any of their ultimates to respond. Hydron had the wall, didn't pop it. Colosseo had the shatter, wasn't able to find an opportunity. That's such a big pick and play there from the Uprising, able to win without any ultimates used.
No ults used at all in that fight. They've got a whole host of them now. Nice TP backwards. Don't want to stay too long, don't want to get caught out by Colosseo's shatter or a window or anything. There's the Blizzard, really early one. Colosseo taking the TP up to the high ground. Everybody's in front of him right now. Laying down the shatter, but Smurf instantly turns. Good kill from Birdring. A crit shatter. I think that was onto the lamp. I'm not entirely sure how that crit, but maybe onto Smurf potentially. There's too many walls happening. It's a little bit of a confusing affair when both Sims use their walls at the same time. But all we do know is the Toronto Defiant lose the fight. 70-80%. Lijigon and a taxi. And the Boston Uprising only losing 1. Twilight is going to switch to Kiri for this last fight.
And Defiant, that was the fight they decided they wanted to commit the ultimates, even though they lost Opener getting in. Uprising did use everything to close out that fight, so there is an advantage here for the Defiant as Opener comes up to the Sound Barrier.
Sound Barrier and the Blizzard, Scott, from Spectre. Spectre goes down first. Might be Toronto Defiant falling over here. Spectre are forced to block already. Colosseo at his back, ready to play defense for his team, and now can play offense with that Sound Barrier. It's 91% for the Toronto Defiant, so the Boston Uprising need to be able to touch at some point. Good wall by Spectre, actually. Isolates Decay for the rest of his team. They are going to stay safe at least. And here comes the re-engage. The retouch for Smurf, going to trigger OT now.
Spectre does have a Blizzard. He can zone the rest of the Uprising out.
He can just eat it into the backline if he already wants. Smurf's already super low HP. He's isolated for the rest of his team as Twilight used the Suzu super early. There's the Blizzard. There's the kills. Ultraviolet on high ground, so he has an eagle's perch looking down upon Lijigon and Birdring, just picking them out of the skies. Toronto Defiant with just better rolls to the very end. Boston Uprising had almost 5 the fight previous. They just burnt them all to try and take, and they did, but you've got to stagger them out, knowing that Toronto Defiant also didn't use any of theirs. All right, pretty close start so far.
Could have gone either way, as it looks like both of them might be deciding to stick to the Reinhardt. If this happens, I would expect both teams to play the Symmetra and teleport onto the point, so expect a massive brawl to ensue as soon as it starts. Yeah, there it is.
Yep, okay.
So, what's going to happen is both teams are going to roll out. They're going to speed boost first to close the distance. Then they will use the Symmetra teleporter to get to the window. Never mind, Uprising teleporting out of spawn while the Defiant are doing that.
They're going to shoot the TP? Oh, they couldn't quite kill it. TP was pretty low, Scott. But now the Boston Uprising is split. Look at Decay's positioning right now. Hydron and Lijigon do end up going down, so 4v4 on point. Smurf is just getting toasted by those turrets. All 3 of them looking at it.
And that was the value.
Good counter pin. Can they kill Colosseo? He's so low. But same with Smurf though. He has to hold shield. Wait for Twilight to heal him up. The Rhines just loggerheads with each other. And Decay is still alive in the backline. Toronto Defiant didn't clear out Decay.
Yeah, Hydron just got picked off as soon as he jumped out that window, was in a bad position. His turrets did more damage than I think he did himself, but it just wasn't enough as the Uprising get first control. Now, how do the Defiant get into this fight? Are they going to TP into the window again, or are they just going to try and walk into it?
Shatter available from Smurf already. Oh my god. We see some crazier things, to be fair. TP Shadows are going to be one of my new favorite. Oh, there's the Shadow. Oh, it hits two. Good lamp, but no. Absolutely not. No lamp's going to save you there. Only a sound barrier realistically is going to save the team. Good Shatter by Smurf.
Spectra's really struggling on this May right now. He's got 5 deaths, some of the most in the server, only 1 final blow. He's falling behind Decay, and Decay once again has a lead in the Blizzard. So that's going to be hard for the Defiant to sort of really enter into anything.
Okay, well, good news is Hydron's got a wall in 5%. TP to the back. Legion got trying to boot people off there. Uh-oh, Ultraviolet is on his own.
What?
I mean, Ultraviolet is just isolated from the rest of the team. Smurf does end up falling, so there's a lot less damage, but I mean, UV being alone on that high ground and not teleporting with the rest of the Toronto Defiant. Maybe a bit of miscomms, not entirely sure what went down, but Toronto Defiant will lose that fight. I mean, Lee Jae-gon just saw his opening, he took it. Ultraviolet had a teleporter on top of him, so maybe he could have teleported back in time, Scott, but he got booped out the window.
Yeah, that was a great play by Lee Jae-gon, recognizing Ultraviolet isolated. And Defiant committed ultimates to that fight as well, so they don't even have an advantage in that respect. 85% and counting, the Uprising firmly in control.
Oh yes, there's an advantage for Spectre though, he's 10% away, but he's so low already. Just jumps through onto the center of the point, lobs out the Blizzard with a sound barrier in response from Lee Jae-gon. There's a boop onto Lee Jae-gon, so he does get frozen, same with Twilight. Smurf, unimpeded though, is still swinging. Has earned himself another Shatter, rounds the corner,
nice
hits
block.
the shield. Good block from Kalush, but is it enough? I mean, Ultraviolet's dead is murdering, and his turrets are going to do the rest of the work.
Uprising absolutely gets the better end of that. It is the advantage if you win the first team fight in these Reinhardt Symmetra mirrors. You have the control, you can just respond with your own ultimates, but Uprising not making any missteps, playing it to perfection, and Smurf just swinging for the fences on that Reinhardt, completely taking over. So we move over to Gardens, a very different map. I doubt both teams are going to opt to play Reinhardt again. We're not playing Reinhardt on all 3 rounds like it's 2016, are we, Jack?
How about yes? how about we do that, in fact? I mean, TP bridge, speed out TP bridge. You don't really want to TP the window just in case you get a 5-man boot, but it looks like we're going to.
That's wild.
That
we haven't
is
seen this
crazy.
in years.
Okay, TP out, speed bridge. Here we go. We're going mirror again. Alrighty. Oh, and Spectre's dead.
He's really struggling.
Yikes.
He's really struggling. We talked about his flexibility on lots of different heroes, but May has not been able to perform in the same level.
Okay, that has got to be the fastest team kill of all time.
Well, that's what happens when
That
your
was
May
crazy.
disappears, but that's the value. Uprising getting control, and then, as I said on Night Market in the last round, if you have control, if you win that first team fight, it's difficult to overcome that. As you can see, Uprising across the board, they have an ultimate advantage. Theirs will come up first. They have the Symmetra turrets covering the door. How do the Defiant enter into this? Kalush walks in, but he's already so low.
He is spinning right now, trying to cover every single angle with his giant shield. Good boop. Is that a double boop? Not quite. Didn't matter anyway. All good. And here you go. The punishment of losing that first point on control, Scott, is really coming to fruition. I mean, with the Boston Uprising, I mean, you don't even need like stats or anything. Look at the damage comparison between Smurf and Kalush. Like 45% to a Shatter on the Boston Uprising side. Like you said, even Spectre is struggling. Like Blizzard, he's 50% behind an ult charge. I'm actually going to go for an unconventional TP.
I like this. I like
the
this.
house.
It gets them positioning. Now they can drop their own window.
Oh, no! There's the Shatter. Hits Ultraviolet. No window to guarantee the kill, but it might not matter. There's the Cheerio follow-up from Lee Jae-gon. Wow, Boston Uprising. They are just picking apart Defiant right now. This is not close.
No, it's not close. And you know, we can talk about the stats of any individual player, but it doesn't matter when you're getting decimated this much. It's a team issue. Right now, it doesn't feel like they're doing anything interesting. Oh,
Decay.
the Blizzard.
Oh no! There's the wall. Nice TP away. Is that a single freeze? It's not. Wow. And they
pin
get a
Lee
kill. Somehow Kalush pins Lee J-God through that almost a 5-man Blizzard. It looked fancy, but unfortunately, it was just a dollar store Blizzard. Toronto Defiant going to not fall for the games of the Boston Uprising. They're going to take the point.
That was a great Blizzard. You can call it a dollar-style Blizzard. I'm going to say Hydron worth his weight in gold in that one. That was such a quick reaction to the TP.
The TP
The Blizzard
away.
went down, he put it down in a position the rest of his team could get to. They're able to hold on, and that was an important fight because now they're the ones who didn't have to use any ultimates to win a
good
team fight.
rotation. Really fast on the Boston Uprising there. They have sound barrier, but Toronto Defiant have a whole host of ultimates too. Kalush Shadow could be large. There's the Blizzard on the wall. Smurf in trouble, does charge, hits the wall though, and now he's in serious hurt. Lijigun also frozen, just caught on the edge of that Blizzard. These fights are so fast to end. Yeah, Twilight just jumping off the map. Just go for another reset. Yeah, the best thing about these comps, honestly, is that you do die very quickly, so you get a lot of fights.
And there's a lot of team fights as well. There's quick wipes, not a lot of brawls going back and forth. Defiant did get caught with their pants down a little bit there. That was a great TP from the Uprising. Defiant weren't prepared for it. Now they're going to do the same TP into the dojo.
TP into the house. There's the window. Looks almost invisible from this angle. Kalush, what you got for us? Kalush wasn't expecting that.
No shield.
There's the damage, but a good sound barrier from Opener. And there is the follow-on, the Fire Strike. Does scorch Lee J-God on the exit, but with that Fire Strike, you put down your shield. Twilight just pops your head. A TP out from Hydron. There's the wall, Scott. The Boston Uprising are just going to run Toronto Defiant down, but a smart disengage. These teleports from Birdring have been extremely smart. Kalush does manage to get back in time, but he's just isolated behind the wall. And now it is Boston Uprising in firm control.
Yeah, Kalush gets punished again. He comes in, tries to walk.
I mean, these staggers mean everything right now.
Yeah.
There's no way you're surviving this, and it is. We're in overtime. We're at 99%. Kalush is back on the Doom, but I'm not sure there's any chance you win this fight. UV does get the kill onto a Birdring, but I mean, that's really about it.
Yeah, Twilight able to respond, take down Ultraviolet. There's nothing they can do at this point.
Boston Uprising take map number 1. What an absolute brawl. Quite literally with those comps, but man, I'd like to see a little bit of Ryan action. I'm going to be real. Those shatters, some of those shatters, they landed. Felt really good, but I mean, Spectre was just kind of getting outclassed there by Decay on the May. We've seen his praises before. Hydron and Birdring. Like, you know, you don't see a lot of like Sim in the kill feed unless it's just like burning shields, burning the Rhine and whatnot. A lot of it's just kind of May and the Rhine picking up kills, but both Birdring and Hydron had some very intelligent TPs. Really showing up big with just the utility, but just not enough for Toronto Defiant to take this first map.
Yeah, it was on a knife's edge. It could have gone either way. Defiant just losing some crucial fights, some minor mistakes here and there. But as you said, somewhere Johnny is fist pumping at the right amount of Ryan played on Lijiang Tower. Because
yeah, he's pretty happy.
It's a fun composition to look, but this was such an important pick. This moment where Spectre gets caught without the rest of his team, that has the snowball effect. That's why Boston Uprising got about 80% off the bat.
That was so close to killing Spectre as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Just that woolly coat that May's wearing. Saved it from that one. Midtown's our next map. Going to Hybrid. And it should be Toronto Defiant's favorite map in this map pool right now is Circuit Royale. All right, we'll see you on the other side of this break. More Ryan, maybe? Maybe, perhaps? Not sure. After this break. Welcome back, Boston Uprising and Toronto Defiant. Just perma-Rhine mirror in that last map. Did go the way of the Boston Uprising. 2-1.
It was close.
So pretty damn close. However, it was just small victories for the Boston Uprising throughout the whole one. Like, just shutting out Spectra is May, just not standing up to the case. Hydron and Birdering pretty even when it comes down to it. A lot of smart TPs. Clusion Smurf also hitting some nice shatters here and there, but really just was that May diff at the very end of it. Opener had some nice picks too. Had the pick onto Twilight, but not happening. We're going to Midtown. It's our hybrid map, so what's in here?
Midtown's an interesting. Honestly, this map pool in general is interesting because Boston Uprising, we talked about them, their bread and butter is the Winston, Tracer, Sombra, but none of these maps are really great for that style of play for the most part. You're going to see a lot of different looks here for the Uprising. It looks solid in that Reinhardt mirror. What will we see in Midtown? Because a lot of teams have experimented with different things. Either playing the Junker Queen, even some D.Va from time to time. You can dive, you can rush, you can do so many different things. We haven't really landed on a specific thing that is good for all teams.
Yeah, so, well, Toronto, they're playing Spectra on the Echo instead. His Echo, he got a 5K the other day on the Echo, on Busan, downtown Busan, I believe it was. That was a ridiculous play too. And it wasn't just like, I'm finishing off kills 5K. It was like, he was doing the majority of damage to most of the 5 players on the other team. Like, Echo very much in his wheelhouse. One of his better heroes. No doubt. See what Boston want to do. I mean, running Smurf on the D.Va here would make a lot of sense. You can pay a little bit more attention to Spectra. Plus, you can eat those sticky bombs, which is a large portion of the damage. Still have to be careful of the laser there.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see them switch back to a normal composition. I doubt Smurf is coming out on the D.Va. Yeah, he isn't going to do that. As I said, go back to their comfort, play the thing that they're the best at. One of the best at right now. Let's not say the best because Atlanta Reign still exists, but yeah. Boston Uprising is one of the best teams at this composition. Birdering Sombra has consistently impressed me, but this guy right here, Decay on the Tracer, he is just a monster.
Oh, Hydron. Fortune into a spot he doesn't want to be.
He's in trouble.
Pack. He is in trouble. He's getting mad packs though from Opener, so he will survive.
Both teams just jostling for position, trying to get ultimates up. As we always say, it's the Ana's waiting for that nano boost. That's really the moment you're looking for as everyone sort of probes and pokes, trying to find any kill they can get.
Ooh, nice clip there from Hydron. But no, like you said, just building up towards the nanos, or just a single ultimate. Nice hack. Or nice nade. Oh, no. I'll get him. Really good recall timing now on Hydron. If he gets hacked there, he's dead for sure. Oh, speaking of deaths, Smurf goes down to Spectre of all people.
That's the value of the Echo. That's the major difference. If we can speak to that right now, Echo has the ability to punish the Winston or almost anyone for being out of position. The difference is the Sombra has the big ultimate of the EMP. So that's the difference. Echo has more damage. Sombra has that big hack and isolating ability.
Little surf.
That's a quick duplicate here.
It is. Oh, he's low. Oh, he had to dupe. Goes to Tracer though in Twilight. Forced it, and he's getting protection. Pulse one, potentially. Okay, that's not Spectra's. Forced to recall, 70%. Hydron throws out his own pulse, maybe a free pulse one for Spectra. Nope. Smurf and Birdering get him out of that dupe. There's the nano boost onto Opener, and no flail. Hit the bubble or something. Sleep's nice, but yeah, not nice enough. You haven't got 2 sleeps, sadly. Don't know if you're ever around where when people are like, you know what Ana should be able to do? When she hits a sleep, it should come off of cooldown.
That's a terrible idea. What stops you from sleeping the same guy over and over and over again?
Hey, it wasn't me that came up with that. I'm just saying.
But that is going to be the Uprising taking first point. Honestly, a lot of that is on Twilight. He forced Spectra's duplicate. He's not able to get anything with it, and then Boston Uprising just follow through with the nano boost. Hydron's in trouble.
He's dead. Yeah, he just dies.
Yeah, and that's going to force so much positioning. You can see the Defiant all of a sudden lose control of this right side. They're having to back up. There goes Opener and Ultraviolet.
I mean, EMP's almost too easy, right?
No, you don't want to have to rip that one. Because even if they were able to EMP Colluge, punish him, what does that do? That gives you 5 seconds, 10 seconds. You'd rather use it when the cart is moving further up.
For sure. Well, it looks like he's setting up for it now. Car almost in the car wash, or the fire truck, I guess.
See, Defiant have to respect this EMP so much.
Yeah. Birdering maybe calling for an EMP onto Ultraviolet, who's now just jumped onto the high ground. That was so close. Oh, there it is, EMP. Oh, it hits only one, and it's Ultraviolet. He got a pack and he was naded. He naded himself and he got a pack from Opener, so he ain't dying. That is for sure. Rally, EMP used. Boston Uprising already lost Birdring. And Hydron with a pulse. Might not even need it, to be fair, but a good combo. Oh, you see there. Man, rough. Break bash. It's like the old one, but you have to use it on Rally now.
That's a really bad death by Hydron, because then all of the advantages that they had just gained from that failed EMP from Birdring come crumbling down. Hydron falls, Colosseo follows, and now the Uprising are closing in on the second point.
They are indeed. They've got a Nano and a Pulse Bomb to finish this one out. Oh, and Opener just kind of trying to force Decay out of there. Both Pulse Bombs going out. No kills just yet, but a good nade onto Smurf and an isolation too. You saw Colosseo jumping to the front line, placing the bubble down so Smurf can't get support. Twilight ends up dying. And all right, they have managed to stabilize.
Great play by Opener once again. Pops that rally early, doesn't do it, try to get maximum value, uses it early, gives everyone that overhealth. The Uprising just weren't able to do anything. Once Smurf falls, they lose their pushing power. Now, 2 minutes remaining for the Uprising. They have to take this positioning once again. Spectra with another duplicate.
Yeah, ideally, again, we just see mainly dupe Anas.
Yeah.
On the high ground, it'd be really nice. You do the Ana, you can go in, you can just nade, like straight up. Oh, good sleep.
He still
dies to Sticky. Actual Echo moments where you sleep the Echo, but you still insta die to Stickies. Oh dear.
Echo sends her regards.
Yeah, seriously. Well, that'll be the fight.
Getting staggered out here. Ooh, Spectre might have the
He's
duplicate.
20 HP. No, trust in the supports. The supports will guide you right.
That's a huge fight there for the Defiant, because they didn't use anything to win that one. Neither did the Uprising, so there's going to be a lot of ultimates coming online. Spectre's Echo has just been devastating so far in this league. Every time he's been able to play it, just the amount of pressure that you can put on with the sticky bombs, with the beam, the other team just has to respect it so much. While on the other end, we haven't really seen any value from the Sombra from Birdring. As much as he's doing his job, he's getting MPs, he's hacking people, Spectre's the one who's really getting more value.
It's almost like there's no instant payoff.
Yeah. If you're not getting value with EMPs, you're not getting value from Sombra.
Toronto are going to go first. I mean, they've got to know Birdring's got EMP, right? So go in early with the Nano, try and get a pick. Okay, they do Nano Legion on too, so Boston Uprising kind of throw that ult away because Toronto just disengaged, so trading for Nanos. EMP still available. There's the rally from Legion on the redie. Birdring, 79 HP on high ground. Can he? Wait, okay,
that was
RNG
unlucky.
flail. That's very unfortunate. Also, Spectre's in their backline.
Yeah. You could think Birdring was thinking about
EMP's good here, surely. I mean, now rally's going off. So Birdring again just faced with another roadblock. EMP does here, but it hits Spectre as he was high in the sky already. And there's the dupe. Double Winston, no Tracer for the Toronto Defiant. Only one sleep, no resets. Sad game. Twilight hitting a double anti is good for one kill, but here you go, DPS Primal. What you got for us? Oh. I mean, he's Twilight in the corner. There's no way you're surviving that one. Easiest Primal Rage of your life there for a Spectra. And now we're in OT with Decay touching the point. So close to the Toronto Defiant spawn, Scott. I mean, Decay's on high ground, Decay. He has no HP, and that's it. Decay can't touch, he has no backup. And Toronto, they just cannot get that snowball. Like, Birdring's EMP, it got delayed because they ripped the Nano early and sent Collusion. And then Twilight has to Nano Legion, so Legion doesn't die. And then Opener with a very early rally as Boston Uprising was setting up again. So it was just this constant delay from the Toronto Defiant, so Birdring just couldn't set up.
This is us on Plat Chat.
It really is. It really is, man. Just discussing and then no idea what we're talking about, and yeah, I mean...
head empty.
Head empty.
Only vibes.
Dude, there's nothing going on in that fitness brain right now. That is really me on Plat Chat, honestly.
But yeah, I agree with you, Jack. Birdring has just struggled on that map to just get any value with his EMPs. Even on that last one, we had his point of view. He's just looking for anyone to EMP,
literally
any value
anybody,
to be found, but he kept getting disrupted or not able to find a target,
I mean,
or the Defiant were...
Even just that random whip shot from Opener that definitely didn't mean to hit him. Like, you're like, oh, okay. And then he ended up using it after that. He caught Spectre, who was already dashing up into the sky, and then he caught Hydron, who did end up going down, but then Spectre got the dupe on.
It wasn't enough value. As much as you get Hydron, that's a great pick.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's not like getting a backline or getting the tank where all of a sudden the rest of the team will fall apart. And with the close spawns for Hydron, he's able to get back in the fight before the Uprising were able to clean everything up.
Right.
But now we go over to the Defiant offense, and Hydron's going to play the Ashe. This is very difficult versus a Sombra, because he's going to have constant pressure, but the pressure will also be on the other side. He's going to be putting out so much damage that the Uprising are going to have to deal with.
It's a little bit of a ticking time bomb too, or a ticking bob bomb if you really want to call it that, because as soon as that bob comes out, if Twilight doesn't have like a sleep or anything, it can be very tough to deal with Decay, Birdering. Like, they're all pretty damn squishy. It's just another obstacle you have to overcome. And you're always putting out massive amounts of damage.
And you can see that the rest of the Defiant team is doing a great job of making themselves threats so that Hydron has more freedom to shoot, but Hydron hasn't been able to find much damage at all. He's only at 33% ult charge.
No, Twilight doing free damage right now. Ooh, no. They went a little bit short. But even Twilight has to play a little bit more safe, because you are in the sight lines of the Ashe, and a double tap headshot. Oh, see, there you go.
That was just a body shot.
Oh, okay. Well, Smurf has ascended to the heavens.
And from there, what do you do if you're the Uprising? Hydron's just shooting for free, takes down Decay, Defiant are on the point. I don't know if the Uprising are going to get another recontest.
Smurf's around the corner. Legion gone and Twilight.
They're thinking about it.
I mean, maybe you go, because Twilight's almost got Nano, right?
But he's almost got Nano. Will Smurf live to tell the
Good
tale?
hack onto Hydron. Getting perma-pocketed, though, by Ultraviolet. So those darts coming off from off screen. Decay with a pulse. Where's Spectre going? I thought it was behind him just for a brief second. There's the EMP, hits 3. It's good for a kill onto Hydron with the anti-nades, and well, the Nano, who was used pretty early. Pulse bomb on the 4. No
way!
Opener just in time, managed to push shield up, not going down to the pulse bomb. The rally's on the points. I mean, you favour Toronto Defiant in this. They had that rally going for so long, and Ultraviolet was alive and naded the floor, so he's not dying. The overhealth. Toronto Defiant, just taking out the Boston Uprising. That's the first point capture. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and they've already, they've almost already taken high ground. And Birdering on the Sombra, it's just not hitting at all right now.
His EMPs just haven't. I don't even know if
good.
I don't know if it's Birdering's EMPs or just the team not able to capitalize. But honestly, the big thing for that fight was I think Decay just got scammed. He put a pulse bomb right down next to Opener, and Opener just gets up and shields it. So unlucky it did not attach. But 4 minutes remaining for Defiant, and they held on to some big ultimates. Here comes the bob bomb, like you were talking about, Jack.
Well, Twilight's dead. Pulse on didn't land, but it corralled them enough. Yep. Bob's joining the fight pretty soon, that's for sure.
Didn't even need it in that fight. Birdering does have the ability to hack the Bob. If it's not targeting him, he can hack it. But if it's targeting him, obviously you can't because you're getting shot.
They did make that change, though. If you do hit someone as Ashe when Bob's out, the Bob will then focus that person now. So if you do see that happen, and just a random hip-fire shot can stop Birdering from doing anything, as the Bob will just perma-target him.
He wants to put it down here on the ramp.
He really does. I mean, putting it on the backboard there is crazy. Oh, there it is. Oh, it hits the payload.
That's not bad.
Not the worst thing in the world. Gets a little bit of cover too.
Oh, he's dead. Good luck, mate.
I don't know. This pocket from Opener and Ultraviolet is pretty nasty. Although now he's in the backline. Yeah, okay. Now he's finally dead. Bob not doing as much as I thought it would, I'm going to be honest.
No.
Sad to say.
And this is the problem when you switch your hit scan player to the Ashe and then Spectre to the Tracer. If they did want to switch the Echo, they're going to have to switch off Spectre. Now Hydron's going over to the Sombra.
Does Spectre give up Pulse? I don't think so.
No.
It's really just a fight winner.
Hydron Sombra, he's played it especially a lot in the spring stage, and it wasn't great. I prefer to see him on the hit scan, but maybe feeling like he can't do anything, too much pressure coming out. And now Defiant are in a tough spot because they're the ones who have to walk through the gauntlet of ultimates that the Uprising have.
Yeah, how good can the CMP be followed up on? Oh, hello.
Defiant do have 4 other ultimates of their own, Jack. So they can take an even fight somewhat here.
2 minutes to go as well, worth keeping in mind. Oh, good pulse, nice nano. Oh, positive Primal Rage too. Primal Blade incoming. Can he find anybody though? No, he's just kind of looking, hunting, searching. 404, no backliners found. There's the EMP, hits Opener, UV, and Kaluge. Massive EMP from Birdering, and the follow-up. Just the cherry on top, really, wouldn't it? 1 minute and 50 seconds. I mean, the Boston Uprising too, they have both backliner ultimates. Ultraviolet ended up using Nano on Colosseo because they were scared that he was going to go down.
It feels so bad. You nanoed and he primaled,
Exactly.
so instead of just committing one ultimate to negate the value of that pulse bomb, you used both, and then Colosseo wasn't able to find anything with it. So now Defiant don't have that tool to open up to get into this fight.
Oh, hello.
Oh, they found the Translocator.
Wow, what a cheeky spot. No Translocator for Birdering, so it's just, it's not the fairest one. It's not the fairest 1v1 in the world.
What is that?
Oh, we can't get to him. Wait a second.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Oh, he's gone. He just slipped out of there. Oh, and Twilight's dead. Oh, no. Nano Boost lost to the Boston Uprising. Twilight's going to come back in just a moment. Legion's going to be able to sustain with a rally. But Spectre's got a pulse bomb in hand. Hydron's so close to that EMP too.
They can't do anything. Uprising is just trying to hold on, let Twilight get back into this fight.
Oh, Smurf's getting farmed right now. Twilight's back in. Good pulse from Decay. Final fight now as Twilight is back with a nano in air, but Ultraviolet and Opener are dead. This is very holdable for Boston.
It is very holdable right now. Hydron does have an EMP. He's finally charged up to that one, so that needs to be the thing. Defiant just weren't able to close out. They did find that great pick onto Twilight, but Lee Gon had the rally, gave his team enough health, enough time to be able to hold on. But as you said, Jack, last fight.
EMP versus EMP.
How does Hydron find anything? Who does he look for? Is he going for a Tracer? Is he going for a Winston? Or is he going for the backline?
Oh, Spectre almost died. EMP
Tracer.
hits two, Decay, pocketed, hits the recall. EMP finds nothing from the Toronto Defiant. Twilight with the sleep does end up missing, but a nano from Twilight onto Lee Gon. That's more backup than you need. And the Boston Uprising will take the second map.
Yeah, the EMP from Hydron, lacking the punching power that it did when he used to play it. The idea is good. EMP the Tracer, the follow-up wasn't. He wasn't able to get the kill. No Winston or Tracer to follow that up as well. So it just falls a little flat, and the Boston Uprising just able to hold on Midtown.
Man, you know Decay is just spamming E, just, get me out of here, help me. That was just EMP versus EMP, and then Nano versus Nano at the very end. Toronto Defiant, and well, it was a very winnable game. Again, it's turning out to be a very close series, regardless of scoreline right now. Boston Uprising being 2 maps up, very close affair. Seeing that synchronized Winston dive is always going to be funny. I'm going to be
Throwing
honest.
me back
I know.
to the good old days.
No, please no. Rose tinted glasses. The thickest rose tinted glasses I've ever seen, Scott.
What do you mean? You didn't like playing double Winston, double Tracer?
No, I didn't.
Ah, okay. You know, maybe
Well,
you're just a hater, Jack.
Yeah, maybe I am. We are going now to Circuit Royale. And
Yep.
this is the map that you think Toronto Defiant are going to take. Colosseo is jumping onto one of his best heroes, one of the best Sigmas we have. And how are Toronto Defiant, the Boston Uprising, going to kind of contend with that? I don't want to see any monkey shenanigans. It's probably just going to be the mirror with the Sigmas. But a close affair nonetheless. Colosseo and Oasis to round us out if we need it. But, you know, Boston Uprising, regardless of Birdring's lack of big impact with the EMPs, this is also another map he can really shine on with a long-range scan.
The question I have, who's going to play the Widowmaker on the Boston Uprising? Is it going
Probably
to be
Birdring.
or Decay? It's hard because both have been phenomenal hit scans in the past,
Yeah,
but neither of them
I
have
would
really leaned into that
Probably
lately.
say Birdring.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we will. We're going to jump to a quick break. Circuit up next.
0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. We take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the.
Yeah, I hear him chatting the noise. Then stop for the talking. Like fire on the pine. If you wanna touch my please use caution.
New intro, but it's still sick. Definitely one of my favorite intros. The previous one and this new one coming out of this year. Toronto Defiant are 2 maps down right now as we head to Circuit, as we see Summer stepping in for the Toronto Defiant. And Colosseo and Izzyaki are also in, this time for Boston.
Makes sense pretty much across the board. Both teams showing their hand of what they're going to play. Callio's coming in as the off-tank player for the Boston Uprising. He'll play the Sigma. Izzyaki coming in to play the second flex support role. That's just how stacked the Uprising bench is. While Summer also a phenomenal flex support coming in to play the double flex alongside Ultraviolet.
Oh yes. SC, who is correct, you or Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny flamed me during the break saying that there is no chance that Decay will play the Widowmaker while Birdring is on this team.
Let's see.
I think he's probably right. He's probably right. It's likely Birdring has been primarily the hit scan player for the Uprising, but
you never know.
You never know. Maybe they prefer to have Birdring on the Hanzo.
We've seen crazier swaps, okay? We saw Jumpin on
That's true.
Support today, so there you go. Circuit's the map. Toronto Defiant's last chance now to find a reverse sweep.
The vibes are down right now.
Yeah, vibes aren't great, honest. But 2 close maps to start the series. We knew it was going to be a banger game. Definitely can go on for a little longer if I had it my way, that's for sure. Defense of Boston. All right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Birdring Widow, my beloved.
Johnny wins this round, but not the end.
Izzyaki on the Zen. Twilight on Ana. Way more unconventional.
So
no BAP.
So an interesting switch up here from Uprising on defense, and we saw Proper just do this for the San Francisco Shock as well in the previous series of you don't take that like second sniper duel where you play like a Sojourn or a Hanzo, you play a Genji who can apply pressure and a threat at any moment to be able to go aggressive. That's probably why Twilight is also on the Ana instead of the Baptiste, so they have the Nano Blade whenever they need it.
See the grapple shot Hydron. Yeah, look at his shields.
Interesting model.
Sad stuff. Glad we got a POV of that one.
And that's why Birdring's on the Widow.
Oh, yes.
Just to clear that up. Oh, never mind. Put Decay on Widow.
Yeah. Never mind. Scrap everything.
Great pick there from Spectra. Now Callio's goes down as well. Can the Defiant continue to snowball this? You can see them trying to step up. If they can get a backliner, they could potentially cap this first point without anything else happening.
Yeah, it's hard for Decay to do much because he has to wait for them to come to him. He can't be in the backline all the time. Like, there's a lot of defensive countermeasures that Ultraviolet and Summer can deploy.
Dude, these little holes are such sweaty spots that people have worked out.
I love it, dude. I love it.
It is punishable. Yeah, you can shoot through there if you're Hydron. It's just a much harder shot, and Birdring just making it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, you shoot through that that hole, you are getting a kill if you're the other Widowmaker, but actually shooting that very, very tiny hole is very tough.
Yeah, Hydron just hasn't
Good start for Birdring.
Hydron hasn't been able to do anything so far. He's just getting his head ripped off, which, player of the caliber of Hydron, that's impressive to do. Big difference between the Sojourn and the Genji here is the Sojourn's going to put up more shield pressure and also be scarier for the backline for those one-shots, but the Genji's going to always remain a threat. You can see he's trying to hold this statue, but he gets punished by Majed.
Yeah, really trying to force Spectra away and get him away from a decent angle. Hydron with the grapple up, sees Birdring. I was close. Now window advantage. Doesn't quite shoot through the window, and in fact, Nano on Callio's and Izzyaki claiming some kills.
Yeah, Defiant just haven't really found any footing so far in this round. Even with that pick onto Decay, they just weren't able to step up in any way. The Nano Boost was used, so that won't be available to Decay, but if they have a Transcendence on the other hand, if they have a Transcendence, Nano Blade's very rarely going to get value anyway.
Decay still, he's a little bit of a menace on the stairs. Kind of chilling. Spectra is, I think, ticking him. Yeah, he is. Little disruptor shot there on the statue. There's the Flux. Hits one. It was Kaluge. Lamp No lamp.
Great nade.
Great nade. Late lamp, but now Spectre using the overclock. Can he find the angle though? Decay went so far in. And the sites are going to aid Spectre into lining up shots. Transcendence is pretty key to force, as Colosseo now has a flux, so maybe a free one at that.
Oh, he missed
no,
it.
It misses! It misses completely. Twilight still ends up going down as he was trying to huddle with Colosseo in the small room on the left-hand side. They're still coming up with kills regardless of that flux missing, and there is the checkpoint.
Colosseo redeeming himself instantly. The flux wasn't bad. It did force the positioning of those 4 players that enabled them to win the fight. So not the worst flux in the world, but historically you like to hit people when you use that flux. So the question is, how far can they snowball? Decay does have the blade, but as I said earlier, Marjev with the Transcendence will be there anytime Decay uses it. And if he goes aggressive into a Transcendence with the blade, the chances he gets punished for that is very high.
Yeah, I mean, Nano Blade, man, it can do wonders. A little slash dash, or a dash slash, either one will cut through the Transcendence. There's the Nano.
So early.
Super early. Transcendence force. Okay, if Decay can get out, no, he's going to pull the blade late. An anti-nade from Twilight hits the back line. Ultraviolet and Spectre in trouble. Double kill for the blade. And the follow-up is good.
The job was done. It wasn't beautiful. It was a little messy at times there from Decay, but he gets the job done, gets the picks he needed to get.
Oh, yeah.
So now they stabilize here.
Birdring.
Birdring's playing so aggressive.
I love it, man. I love it. Oh, he hits Colosseo in the head. No shot.
Hydron has yet to hit a headshot.
Yeah.
That really goes to show you how much he is struggling to find any positioning. Birdring's just had his number. Obviously, it's a lot easier for Birdring. He's the defender. Hydron's in the attack.
Yes.
But just using that to really show you, that's really where a lot of the weakness is coming from Defiant. They just haven't been able to have that pick potential.
Wow. There's Yaki doing a lot of damage there too. All right, there's the window. Sights activated as well. Wow, forced Colosseo onto the low ground. He's so low, by the way. Yeah, he is 1 HP. Easy couple of kills. That was like it was nothing. Can Birdring get a kill here? Maybe? No, he's dead. All right, there's the second point. Scott, or maybe, well, the ability to touch there is going to be pretty slim. I mean, Izyaki's going to commit to trance maybe, but yeah, it's not really worth it.
If Izayaki was alive, they could just Transcendence to touch, but he's just too far away. There's no way the Uprising commit to this one as, you know, Hydron doing his job now. That was great. Gets the walls up, forces the positioning, and the Defiant able to close through. That's what you need to do. Early flux here from Colosseo.
Decay's dead. Oh my. And Birdring again. That bullet in Hydron's head committed to long-term memory. Oh, Surmajet down. Double kill for Birdring. Truly one of the most entertaining players in the Widowmaker, I will say. He's still got second point though, Scott. And Hydron's still struggling regardless.
That's why I don't love that flux from Colosseo. Even though it went as perfectly as you could hope, they use flux and walls for a situation that Defiant just respawn 10 seconds later and take the positioning. At that point, Uprising didn't gain enough, in my opinion, to justify those 2 big ultimates. Now the Uprising, the second half is where they're going to have that huge advantage. Decay on this Genji, he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. You can see him holding down this left side. He's going to be a constant threat.
He's with Izayaki too, so if someone does fall for this bait, Spectre for example, then he will meet a swift demise, I'd imagine. He's just flinging out right clicks.
Yeah.
Like I said, this guy is so tough here.
Yeah, Defiant, it doesn't even really feel like they want to try and contest this outside area. They're just trying to force their way in through the front line.
Good sleep. Got nade in 1. Yep, there it is. Rock. Oh, nice dodge by Colosseo. It actually forces the lamp of all things. No flux to kind of extra punish.
Nano
Blade on, or no Nano Blade, sorry, just Nano forces out the Transcendence again. They're more than happy to just use Transcendence whenever they want. Another good nade from Twilight. Can't be capitalized upon by Decay as Spectre slides away, and I think Decay had dash.
That's how Uprising seem to want to use the nano to force the Transcendence so that you have the blade for free. Colosseo just evaporates.
Jesus. Okay, didn't even see him. I didn't even see him even stand up from that rock that hit him. I mean, Decay's got blade. They can stall for a long time here, Scott. No deflect though. That's going to feel kind of rough if you do want to dash in. He is orbed.
You can see they just have no way of getting through this choke, especially
Spectre.
with this constant threat.
Wrong place, wrong time, I think. There's a lot of deflect damage, but no, Surmajet just kicks him right in the head.
Oh, he gets slept though. Is he going to get punished from Twilight?
Oh, easy nade. Oh, good kill. Good kill from Twilight. Just double tapping Surmashed. Yeah, the reinforcements have arrived for the Boston Uprising. Kalios holding this one down. Twilight 1 HP. Hydron claiming kills. There you go. But 30 seconds to go, Scott. They need to finish this one out. They're against a Flux. They're going to have Birdwing's going to have sights to match Hydrons in just a moment. Yeah, upward tilt battle on this last point. It's all on the snipers, man.
It is, but I'm going to say keep an eye on Izyaki's Transcendence meter. If he gets up to the Transcendence, it will be almost impossible for the Defiant to close
they're going early. They're going to force a lot.
No
Anti-nade on Kalush. Can they touch? 3 seconds to go. Slide in for Spectre. He's already in. There's the lamp to try and save him, but he still kills Decay.
How?
He was like 1v4 there. Birdwing with 1 kill on Surmashed. Venom Mine broken, sights activated. However, Spectra's got the railgun. The overclock is good for 1, it's good for 2, it's good for 3. Spectra finds 3 kills. They're going to close this one out just off of Spectra's overclock.
He just goes sicko mode. He is the one who also had the terrible duty of having to be the one to touch. He slides to the point,
kills Decay.
into threats, and then kills the gatekeeper of the Decay Genji, punishes him for playing aggressively, then lives to tell the tale and closes the fight with 3 more kills with an overclock. Spectra coming up clutch for the Defiant.
Again, man, he is that clutch factor. He really is. Echo, Soj. I mean, it's May. He was very lackluster on the first map, but put him on a carry hero like that, dude really shines. All right, well, they managed to complete, which is, to be fair, when we were rounding into that last point there, it looked a little bit hopeless in terms of ult economy. Felt like Uprising was very much in the driver's seat in control. See if, okay, yeah. This is interesting again, Scott. They aren't going to run with the Hanzo, even on offense. They're just going to have Decay. Obviously, they haven't rolled out the gate yet, so we don't know, but I would imagine Decay is going to stick on the Genji. That's why it's definitely not playing Moira, but...
Never say never.
It's no shot. He hasn't lived a long and full life just yet. He's not IRP just yet, you know, like...
He hasn't stooped so low.
It's true. I mean, I like the way they were playing that too, and you brought it up before. Decay was going in with Nano. He wasn't pulling the blade. Sometimes he didn't even have the blade.
Yeah.
And they were instantly forcing the Transcendence.
Yeah.
And then Twilight was just, whoop, from downtown. Nade hits, and if it doesn't, that's fine. You forced a big ultimate with just the Nano. And then you're playing that game with the Nano, with the blade and with the Flux.
That's a cute little play there. So Birdwing sets up a TP that makes it, that enables Decay to get over the wall really quickly. And I think they were hoping that no one from the Defiant were maybe paying attention, so he had the opportunity to execute someone. Didn't pay off, but cute little tech there from the Uprising.
Little body shot.
It will be interesting to see how Decay does on this offense on the Genji. I prefer it on the defense where it feels like you can pick your moments, but on an offense, Decay's just going to be throwing shurikens, trying to find an opportunity to execute, but with how far away the Defiant are standing, how do you find any value? Gets the orb and goes aggressive onto the Sojin. I
mean, yeah, that's where you need to be as the Genji. You need to be on that column. It's normally Hanzo's defending, but Spectre obviously on the Soj. And the Sojin is just such a strong character against the Genji too, because you can just hit that disruption shot at your feet, and then the Genji's fighting into that. You have a lot of healing from Surmashed. It can just orb you, and yeah, it's a real rough time. I very much agree with you. Like, the Genji's way better on the defense.
If you have to dash to engage, it's a one-way trip. Unless you can get that pick instantly or find value, it's a one-way trip, and that's what you saw there from Decay. So they need to put more resources and give him some backup.
All right, there's the Nano. He's in the back.
Oh, so much damage.
Good kick. That's a lot of damage. The lamp's already been forced. He can't hit the right click, so it doesn't matter because Birdwing just domes it.
Oh, he tries to go even deeper. Spectra punishes, so that's 1 DPS for 1 DPS.
Even Steven so far. I mean, Spectra's nearing that ultimate though, Scott. That overclock coming up mighty soon, and Ultraviolet trying to stem the bleeding a little bit. Yeah, not the best Flux in the world, especially after killing Kalios there. It felt like they just hit the buttons at the same time. That was a little bit rough. Nothing.
I don't think he wasn't expecting Kalios to fall.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
The Flux would have made sense if Kalios hadn't fallen instantly when he pressed it. So that could be something that pays a terrible price here for the Defiant, because they don't have that big ultimate that's going to force out the Transcendence from Izzyaki. So Izzyaki has the freedom to use that aggressively. I could almost see a Transcendence to follow up Decay with the Blade. Give him just infinite health to just go aggressive.
Oh, man,
mind.
again. Never mind. And you see how unwilling Boston Uprising are to fight.
Yeah.
They have to back up. There's just too much damage. If you don't have Decay there, you can't take control of that statue. To be fair, even Decay on that statue, man. They're going to have Nanoblade, by the way.
Here's the Aki down, and let me give you some numbers to justify my concern with this Genji pick. Decay currently has 3 eliminations, 2 final blows, 10 deaths.
Oh my god.
He's just unable to be that executing character like he needs to be because the Defiant is just so stalwart, especially in their backline. Like, how many times has he been picked by So Much Ed or Ultraviolet?
Yeah. 10 deaths?
Yeah.
10? All right, there's the sights, double sights. In fact, everybody can see everybody. 20/20 vision. Nano, no blade. They force the Transcendence. And there's the blade, it's been pulled. He just dashes to the front line. In fact, dashes out of the fight. So Much Ed is pretty low, but he's getting healed up by Ultraviolet as they push the payload onto this first point. A Transcendence to force them forward, knowing Colosseo doesn't have that ultimate, but still, Decay dies. 11 deaths and counting. Twilight's on the point. Nate himself doesn't hit Colosseo, but still ends up going down. Just a messy fight. Gonna call some cleaners. Who's gonna be there for the touch? It will be Colosseo. He's getting kicked away. Oh no! He's kicking him back onto point.
Flux.
Other way. I mean, the Flux is only gonna hit one, but it's gonna be good enough. I mean, maybe Colosseo survives here, but he's got no healing. Twilight's gonna be able to teleport back, potentially, but Spectra's still up. It's the messiest fight in history, but no, the payload goes in anyway. Point 1 unlocked.
Oh my
god. That was a bloodbath.
The Defiant, they were so close to holding that they even won the fight at the very end, but just no one was able to stay on the point for long enough, and whew, that was a messy fight, Jack. It broke down ever since Decay just went in and then went out with the ultimate.
And chaos ensued.
Everyone didn't know what to do with themselves, but Boston Uprising find themselves a lifeline. Decay thinks better of this Genji, switches over to the Sojourn.
He'll probably switch to Genji, I'd imagine, maybe for last.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll see. All right, Widowmaker play. We're back. Little grapple up. You can do a short grapple there, maybe get some extra height. Wants to peek stairs. There's the grapple. Oh, doesn't want to mess with it. Oh, nice Venomine placement. Actually knows exactly where Hydron is now.
You say placement, he probably just yeeted it in their general direction.
Yeah, no, absolutely, but it was good placement.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good yeet. It was a good yeet.
Exactly.
The Defiant are happy to sort of give this positioning to the Uprising because they have all their players where they want to be. You So Much Ed in the back, you have Hydron taking that long angle, able to take down Colosseo. And the problem with this, if you're the attacking team, is now the Uprising need to run. And this is a difficult thing to do. And you can see the Defiant, they're trying to hunt to find any more players to increase the number of staggers.
Yeah, they're not over-aggressing, though. Because they know Birdring, they saw the shot, they saw like the tracer round, like they saw it go straight over the top. So if they do end up overstepping, Birdring could just click their head, just take it off. So they don't go too far there, no punishers.
Yeah, the Uprising able to just hunker down in that tunnel. Now Colosseo is back, takes another headshot. As now the ultimates are starting to come back up.
By the way,
oh yeah, great runs.
Window, decent spot for it too. Hydron trying to be a little bit cheeky there, peeking the window, see if they can find a lowly target behind it. Colosseo taking infinite damage. Flux behind the shield. Sends them up a little way, but they got Lamp around that corner, and that's a hard Lamp to actually take down. Speaking of which, Twilight Birdring already dead. There's 15 seconds to go, and there's a Transcendence going off from Izayaki. You haven't got too many lifelines left. You need to find kills. Spectra's pretty low, dashes in.
Bad mistake.
It was a mistake, but is it going to cost them a whole bunch? An aggressive Transcendence from Summer Qualifiers. They want to end this fight here and now. If they find Colosseo, it could be good. There it is. Another good rock from Colosseo. Decay with the overclock, though. He dashes to the back, but they don't touch. The Boston Uprising halted before that second point. We're going to map number 4. Looking like it's going to go the distance again.
That was a little dicey at the end there when Spectra stepped up. Took a little bit too long to kill Colosseo, so that could have slipped away from them. But they were a lot stronger there on the defense. It felt like they, and we expected this. Defiant, when they're playing this Sigma double flex support and they can put both of their hit scan players on hit scan, that's really the strength of this roster, and they were just the better team. I like the idea of Uprising and Decay going over to this Genji, but we didn't see it find any value. It felt like he was just under so much pressure. Every time he tried to do anything, he was just falling.
That was a ridiculous shot. The reaction times there are just unreal. I mean, this at the very end
clutch,
too.
yeah.
This was the clutch. This is how Toronto Defiant ended up finishing.
He gets all 5.
Pops, overclock, bang, bang, bang.
Spectre's got a lot of 5Ks for his short tenure in the league.
I know, it's insane. Like I mentioned before, he's been on 2 of the most prominent contenders rosters from 2 different regions too. From China, Team CC.
Yeah.
And then O2 Blast as well. A very short stint on O2 Blast, but still. Boston Uprising now with a map number 4 in their sights. Hydron came alive at the very end there as well. A very rough start. All right, Colosseo is our next map after the break. Don't go anywhere. Map 5 again is on the horizon. Let's get it. Toronto Defiant, at the hands of this man, in fact, take that map. His Sojourn play. I mean, he clutched it out at the very end. 65% railgun accuracy, clutching up to make sure Toronto completed the map. 15 final blows, only 2 deaths.
You can see it with the eye test, how much impact he had. He was one of the reasons that Decay was struggling so much. He was willing to play aggressively and be that player who was really stepping into danger.
Yeah.
The support was there, and he was able to just find
this
picks.
was a 5K at the very end. 3 kills with the overclock. 5K in total. And like you said, Scott, his short tenure in the Overwatch League, he's had a hell of a 5K, or 2 5Ks now. Had 1 on Echo, now he has 1 on Sojourn. God, he is really stepping up to be just a phenomenal rookie. If he keeps performing like this, could be in conversation for a little summit. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we might have a little bit of difference here on the screen and what you're seeing. I believe that is Lee Jae-gon in his chair.
That is Lee Jae-gon.
And Kalios instead of Smurf. So we might have Smurf and Lee Jae-gon coming back in for Colosseo. That's what we expect. You know, Kalios is that Sigma player. I doubt they're playing double flex support here on Colosseo. I'm actually curious to see what compositions are going to be played on this map. We haven't seen it as much, and it feels like a lot of teams just play to their comfort. We've seen some people try like Ramatra. We've seen a lot of dive from the Winston. So a lot of opportunity to make your own decisions as we actually have Opener coming back in for the Defiant as well.
Oh yeah, Opener back in. Alrighty. Smiles all around, that's for sure. You want to just end this one if you're Boston Uprising. You end up at 9-2. Pretty impressive record. And then Toronto, like 5 other teams, 5-5. Well, Shock are actually 6-5 now. So maybe Toronto Defiant is 6-5, or maybe they go 5-6. I can't believe there's so many teams halfway through the year that are even. That's wild.
It's poetic almost, you know? Yeah. Everything to play for still in this season. And especially a lot of those teams at that 5-5 record made a lot of changes during the mid-season break. So we're seeing ups and downs and changes to these rosters. So as much as we might have had a gauge on how strong they were previously in the spring stage, in the summer stage, it's all been jumbled up again. And that's what both of these teams right here, the Boston Uprising and the Toronto Defiant, are fighting for, is to prove where they stand. You know, the Uprising record is incredibly strong, but they had a rough match against the Vegas Eternal. Even though they closed it out, they weren't happy with their result. And now against the Toronto Defiant, if they don't close it out on this map, all of a sudden, we have to start asking questions of, Boston took down Houston, but how strong are they really?
Man, imagine doubting Boston, bro. It's crazy. That's crazy to me, actually.
I just love how I'm just so negative. I don't even know why I'm so negative to Boston, and how you're just like completely unfazed by anything happens, just die-hard fan. So at least we have you here to counterbalance me.
I know. It's perfect, honestly. Perfect.
Uprising are a great team, though, and I think they need to start getting credited, because I think every team in this league would look at this roster and be, they could make a run. At any moment, if they hit the right stride, the right meta at the right time, they could be a title contender.
For sure. There's so much history on the team and just so many legends in each of their roles. Like Smurf, you don't need to say anything else. Just Smurf. He's pretty good at the game. Like one of the championship-winning player. Birdring, Decay, Twilight. Like these players have been around for so long. I mean, I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. But Twilight played in Apex Season 1, bro. That is crazy.
Just so much veterancy on this roster. As we see both teams coming out, here's the teams taking their
liberty. Look at this rotation.
Going the long way around to the start point, taking the Uprising spawn, playing the Ramatra rush, Uprising on the dive.
Yeah, big rotations from Toronto. Who is on to the right?
What just happened?
I don't know.
I like the idea. It's forced the backline of the Uprising into an awkward situation.
Yeah, Decay was caught out too. I wonder who that little silhouette was, whether it was Birdring or Decay. I guess it was Decay. Smurf's in. Bit too far, maybe. All good though, he got naded. Oh, Spectra isolated. On the Mayday, he didn't really do well on in the first map, mind you. You're trading here. Again, a rather messy affair, as Hydron's also just caught out alone. I mean, is anybody going to stand up to Kaluge when he's just Nemesis form? Well, yes, apparently, because it ran out.
The Defiant just can't find the picks to close out this fight, and with both DPS dying and them being on the other side of the map because they flipped them, I actually think Defiant are in trouble. Ultraviolet's getting pressured hard.
Good nade from Spawn there by Twilight. Window, Window, very aggressive. And so, yep, Smurf's already got Primal, and Ultraviolet's already dead. Spectra comes back and it does kill Decay, but it's all Smurf right now. That big wraparound not working for Toronto Defiant. In fact, Boston Uprising just wrapped up that package in a nice little bow and just shipped it off.
Yeah, Defiant, as I said, just unable to close out that fight. So the Uprising draw first blood, and they only have to use the Primal Rage of Smurf to do it. So they have the big form EMP. We saw the Boston Uprising struggle to find value on Midtown. Let's see if that was just a map problem.
EMP from Birdring. Oh, really early. Sound barrier comes out, helps Ultraviolet survive. Even before that lamp was helping him. All does leap into the skies. Had the shift going on, so he was good for heals at least.
That's going to be Defiant holding. Great sound barrier from Opener. He's able to keep everyone alive through that EMP. And now they're the ones pushing the card. And Uprising need to have strong, effective dives because the Defiant, they're going to play as a clump. They're going to play as a unit. So Uprising need to find a way to isolate individual players.
Smurf jumping in after an anti-nade. Speaking of which, Hydron and Opener. But that Vortex being thrown down by Colosseo instantly. But Hydron this time on the Sojourn, showing what he's made of. I think they've got some of the best Soldiers in the league at this point, to be honest with you, Scott, with Spectre and Hydron.
Yeah.
Nano boost on to Smurf. Oh, what a perfect freeze by Spectre. You don't need to be aggressive with that, Blizzard, at all. You know Boston Uprising have to commit themselves to your backline. So you're just throwing it down as soon as Smurf gets a nano. Good to get the ball rolling, or the cart pushing, I suppose.
Scary fight for the Uprising to lose. That was both of their support ultimates. So they no longer have those to sustain through the Colosseo annihilation that's coming. As soon as anyone steps up, he's going to push that one.
Birding's farming these EMPs quite rapidly. 60% towards another one.
They're contesting from the high ground. They're stopping this bot from moving forward, just giving time for Birdring to find hacks, charge up the EMP.
Yeah, he is really farming. Oh, can they actually stop this bot from being contested? Nope, because Lee Jae-gon is just standing there with a shield. He's just standing. Someone help! And Ultraviolet's in. All right. Well, yeah, you can contest from the high ground on the little ledge. Rough stuff. Little sleep, little nades. That'll be it.
Uprising knowing the little cheesy moments of the map of Colosseo, being able to hinder the Defiant progress. So the Defiant just got stuck on that low ground, nowhere to go. And because they're not applying a threat of the bot moving forward, they're essentially not accomplishing anything, and Uprising are the ones who are able to flip the bot back the other way. And Colosseo never even got the opportunity to pop the annihilation.
Yeah.
It is difficult against the dive style of the Uprising EMP from Birdring.
It's too. Opener and Ultraviolet had their abilities stripped away from them. This Primal Rage as well. Wow. I mean, this is what you really need right now. If you're the Boston Uprising, you just need this tempo.
Yeah.
And this is what this comp's about, just tempo play. If you find a wipe here, you get the bot going, you're probably going to be able to take the lead, and you're so close to that checkpoint. And you don't give Toronto Defiant a chance to cheese you on the high ground, right?
And maybe that was the mistake Defiant made. They didn't play aggressively like the Uprising are. They're playing in a forward positioning and letting Lee Jae-gon push the bot alone. Nano boost in from Smurf.
Yeah, just pressure, pressure, pressure. Decay with a pulse bomb. They can't quite make diamonds yet. He had to recall out as soon as that beat dropped. Smurf taking a lot of damage. Hydron's overclock, sending him packing. Same with Decay. Lee Jae-gon, yeah, no chance there. Got pinned to the wall.
Importantly there for the Defiant, their cap just narrowly didn't come through for the Uprising, so they didn't get the forward spawns. And in general, on Colosseo, if you get the first capture, it's really difficult to fight into.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Defiant, important fight win there for them. Opener with a great sound barrier right on time. As you can see, the Uprising doing the exact same thing they did last time. How are the Defiant going to adjust their play?
Double nade from the high ground too. Decay's got a pulse bomb. So it's almost like a dead set, to be honest with you. And no Nemesis form either. There's the rally. That was a quad stun, I think, from Lee Jae-gon. That giant IMAX doing its work. Annihilation on the point to try and clear Boston Uprising away. But they're still just contesting the bot from the high ground. Lee Jae-gon and Twilight just encapsulated in that bubble. The EMP hits 3, but Birdring can't follow up the kills. But Decay does with a pulse bomb. Ultraviolet may be dead, but there's no DPS to the Boston Uprising right now as the bot eventually moves under that under the high ground. Smurf's on the other side of things though, and Kankin still contest the point, especially with the nano boost.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the Defiant retreating away from this one, recognizing that they're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe. The bot is going back the other way for the Uprising, but as you said, Jack, the Defiant were able to get through the critical junction, get the barricade a little bit further forward, and now they're in the advantageous situation where they have the archers and Birdring. And honestly, the Uprising in general don't have the ultimates. They used a lot of them to keep that hold going.
Another Primal Rage from Smurf. He's not on high ground this time. Just looking for a small flank. Leaping over.
Good dive.
Good dive. Good manual hack. Lamb came out, but Ultraviolet, can he survive? He can, especially with that sound barrier from Opener. Smurf does get out alive. It's hit the Primal already, and it's just going to put him straight back into the conversation. And with Decay taking out UV, I mean, that is just a perfect re-engage. You can't ask for better than that. 58 meters to 63. I mean, now you're in the danger zone, Scott. As soon as the Boston Uprising now take control, Birdwing's going to launch himself with another EMP soon. Like, if you get that checkpoint, it's looking rough.
That was a great sound barrier from Opener. Honestly, every single one on this map have been perfectly timed, giving Ultraviolet a little bit more time, but the Uprising dive too clean. They just had too much sustainability, and Ultraviolet eventually falls, as does the rest of the Defiant. But now they have the ultimates. Hydron with another overclock, Spectra with a Blizzard, Kaluge with the Annihilation. You can see Uprising don't want to fight into this.
Nah, they're just waiting for EMP. You can't fight with no ults. Wait, okay.
That was his Translocator.
Birdwing, no Translocator. Blizzard, does it hit him? Yes, it does. He's frozen.
Oh,
He doesn't ever go into. He does go down though, but they trade both their DPS and overcommittal to an unbelievable magnitude. They are just going to keep going. They might as well try and find extra kills, but they committed their whole selves to find something now. Nemesis form. Oh, another scrappy fight. Decay's on the bot. Does manage to dash away from that vortex, so he's not going to get grounded. The Boston Uprising still in control. They have the lead, Scott.
Yeah, Decay is just all over the place on this Tracer right now. 10 final blows, 5 deaths.
It's good.
Defiant, and primarily Kaluge is just struggling to find a target to run down. That's the strength of this Uprising setup. They have Lee J gone and Twilight playing so defensively.
EMP. No beats. Only a lamp to maybe save you.
Ultraviolet's far away.
Dude, he is so far away from his team. He's lobbing those right clicks from downtown. I mean, Hydron's used his ult. I mean, this will be Boston Uprising backing up here. They have rallied. EMP hits 5. Birdwing, 5-man EMP. Toronto Defiant, didn't know what hit him. No beat, no lamp, no nothing. Complete team kill, and here's the roll. If they get this checkpoint, Scott, with a minute to go, rough stuff for Defiant. And Defiant have to recommit themselves to the bridge too, and the Boston Uprising can play super far up. They've got Nano, they've got Primal and Pulse. If they find another pick, this could be it.
And they've got the checkpoint, Jack.
UV's dead. UV's dead already. Opener has gone down as well. They've got a checkpoint. What a good spot for Boston to be in.
Yeah, the Defiant was so focused on getting back to the point, they forgot about their backline. Great dive here from the Uprising, and now they're getting even more meterage, Jack. Even more of an advantage.
Just back up. You don't need to fight this. You can just get out. You have the checkpoint. You've got the lead. Oh,
good nade. Is there any follow-up onto Ultraviolet?
Nice hack. Deploys the lamp, but he's dead. What a perfect nade from Twilight again. Just sets them up for success. Toronto Defiant thought they were more than safe, but they didn't expect the cheeky Twilight, sneaky Twilight, and the Primal Rage from Smurf is going to seal it. There you go. Put a pin in it.
Uprising aren't pushing the bot either.
They don't need to, Scott.
Defiant can't close the distance.
Boston Uprising are going to do it. Toronto Defiant had the ults, but they didn't expect Twilight with a sneaky nade from underground. A 3-1 victory and 9-2 in the standings for the Boston Uprising. Toronto Defiant fall. They're not going to match Shock in the 6-5. They're going to be a 5-6 team. Finally, the 5-5s have been broken. But what a good game. And again, another fairly close one, but it was very much just pop-off moments. You expected Toronto Defiant to take circuit at the hands of Spectra, Kaluge playing one of his best heroes, but when it comes to the Winston versus Winston, even Ram versus Winston, I mean, Boston Uprising, they were just beating them down.
Yeah, Uprising just so solid at this Tracer Sombra setup. Birdwing's EMPs, we talked about his struggles on Midtown. On Colosseo, they were phenomenal. Dropping some big ones, getting 5-player ones, 4-player ones. When they're playing that Ramatra style, those are the big ones you need to hit.
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be grouped up as well, right? So they're going to be deathballing, and then Birdwing just needs to kind of wait. We saw him that whole time.
Yeah.
And we saw Hydron pop the overclock, and the whole of Boston was like, okay, we can kind of disengage. They pop rally, and then Toronto, because they're just deathballing, Birdwing just hits Q, and they're all EMP'd. And there's no beat to follow it. There's no lamp, because you didn't have time to deploy it. Like, rough stuff, rough stuff. I mean, Spectra's still looking really good. Hydron 2's having his moments, but it's just the Boston Uprising really just proving that they are here to win. If you want to mess with the best, you got to die like the rest. And the Toronto Defiant right now, they're not getting that, like just above that mid category currently, even with these changes. Still a lot of hope for the team though. But player of the match for the Boston Uprising, who is it going to be for this one? Well, it's going to be Smurf.
Yeah, Smurf is just so good. He absolutely tanked Gap here on this Reinhardt setup. Obviously, his team was really there to support him and enabled him to play this setup, but he was hitting big shatters. He was choosing the tempo, and then Smurf is one of the primary reasons that we talk about Boston Uprising being one of the best dive teams in the league right now, because he does so much with so little resources, and you saw time and time again the Defiant just having to commit so much to the sheer pressure that he's exuding.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like the dives. I think this is a really good example of it. Oh, it was another clip. It was the same situation pretty much, where Opener used the beat after the engage, and then Smurf hit the primal, just jumped out. And then they waited just a brief moment, and then Smurf re-engaged a primal, Decay also re-engaged, and their just dive is just so clean. I mean, you can't expect anything less from Smurf, really. Dude's a championship winning player for a reason, and on this team, it's really just what you need. You know you have fantastic Tracer players, even long-range hitscan players too. I mean, Smurf, yeah, no doubtably won the player of the match for this one. I mean, stats kind of speak for themselves, but you can look at them. But
They're just consistent, and that's what Smurf is. He is a consistent player, and then you pair that up with the synergy that him and Decay seem to have. Like, how many times, almost every single time, you see Smurf go in, Decay's there to follow up, and that's what makes them a scary team.
Yeah, super scary. They are 9-2 right now. I mean, they're up with the Atlanta Reign, Houston Outlaws, even like Florida Mayhem right now.
They're above Houston Outlaws these days.
Well, they are. That's true. I mean, this top 4 is looking scary. I mean, the Atlanta Reign right now, they are head and shoulders above the rest, but we got some scary playoffs ahead of us, Scott, and we are ever so close to actually getting there. We'll see if Toronto can turn it around, obviously, in the next coming weeks. I mean, still, these changes that they've made, they do look good. It's just about maybe getting some more play time in. There was always going to be a tough opponent, but the Boston Uprising do take the game off the Toronto Defiant. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. Death's going to break that one down and set us up for the next one after this.
아니야 잡고 가.
라마 뒤에 라마.
하나 둘 셋. 밀지마 앞에 가. 손보라 있어. 밀지마. 앞에 와. 야 손보라 앞에. 손보라 차. 잡을 거다. 손보라 있어. 치기 계속 쏠게.
루슈 간다. 루슈. 나이스. 왔어.
Welcome back, friends. Toronto's road back home from the playoffs began this week with trying to defy Boston. No luck. They
The
tried.
vibes were off, guys. The vibes.
vibes.
I misread the vibes. It happens.
Vibes were in fact bad.
Well, I mean, they did get a map win on circuit.
Good for
but
them.
you know, but other than that, you know, Boston just coming out strong. This is their third win in the summer qualifiers now, right?
I was counting on Lijiang Tower, man.
Probably not.
I was counting on some oddity. I don't know. Don't ask me about numbers. Dan.
I don't know. But they're looking good.
Don't ask. Yeah.
Never
maybe.
mind. They probably did it. I don't know.
Still, though, Boston, I mean, there's a reason they're among these top teams. The match that's really interesting for Boston, though, is that tomorrow, taking on the Florida Mayhem.
That is true.
It's going to be a spicy one.
Yeah. Two of the top 3 teams going at each other. Boston Uprising. Off to a hot start here. I mean, Smurf on the Reinhardt. The tank goat. The tank goat. I know some people want
was sick here.
Some people want to say fearless, but you know, Smurf's versatility, his time on the San Francisco Shock, and he's dominating on the Winston, the Reinhardt. You know, if you're Colosseo here on the Reinhardt, Smurf is a pretty tough matchup. It's not a great time. And, you know, Midtown, they did have a chance. I mean, it did feel like Toronto Defiant, almost like we're gonna close this one out because they had so much time on B, right? But they just couldn't find the right engage, Jake.
Yeah, it did look. It was a close series. You know, I think this actually could have gone either way for Toronto on the rebuild. I'm still not feeling bad about their chances. Losing to Boston, this is not a hurdle you needed to clear. It would have been great, but it's not a necessity. You know, I think for Toronto, it's just.
This is my favorite moment right here. If you guys think playing Mission Impossible.
How did he get out?
How did he get out?
I think he must have gone between these shots. Like he was.
That's nuts.
You know, and it's. Let's see. We can see. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible.
Where'd they go?
They just.
Instinct. Quick move.
Oh.
All right. This shot. Oh, by the way, these peaks from Birdwing. This was so clean. The fake peaks like multiple times, and then uses this angle from under the cover there. Such a nasty angle to play with against an elite Widowmaker like Birdwing.
There's some great shots to the observing team. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great job.
Honestly, this was a great series. Like, I think even though it's a 3-1, for me, this wasn't a disappointment at all. I still want to see more from both of these teams. I want to see the matchup again. And in a map pick format, like, who knows how this would go, honestly.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
This comp, by the way, from Toronto Defiant, I love it. Not because necessarily it's like what I want all teams to play, because it's very entertaining to see Widowmaker, Sojourn, Zenyatta, Batiste, and Sigma. There's just a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage there in that composition. Love to see it.
There was one moment where Kalios was like in front of the window, and he just
He got deleted.
it looked like he got one hit. Like his whole health bar was just like gone. He's like, how do you play against that? Like,
Okay, no play.
okay.
He got.
He got boomed.
Yeah, I mean, but he didn't. I mean, he didn't say no play. He did play.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, he did. He did
And he
play.
did a great job. I mean, Boston, you know, looking good, getting another win. So it's time to hear more from Boston Uprising. And for today's post-match interview, we got Birdwing to, you know, have some chat with him. Birdwing, can you hear me? 버디서 들리시나요?
안녕하세요.
All right. Congratulations on getting the win. Another great win for your team. What was the game plan going into today's match against Toronto? 자, 오늘 승리 축하드리면서 오늘 토론토전 좀 어떻게 준비를 하셨나요?
토론토전을 많이 준비하기보다 메이엠전을 좀 더 경기하고 있어서 그냥 토론토는 약간 늘 하던 대로 그냥 연습했던 것 같아요.
Nothing really specific for the Toronto. We shifted more of our attention to actually our coming up match, Florida Mayhem. So for today, we just sort of played how we always play and how we always practiced, and that's how we got the win. Talking about Florida Mayhem, thank you for talking about that, because that's actually my second question, because that is, I think, is going to be a big match for the Boston Uprising. You guys are playing Florida Mayhem tomorrow. What are your expectations about that match, and what are your thoughts on the team, Florida Mayhem? 자, 방금 프로에다 말씀하셔서 일단 감사합니다. 제가 안 그래도 여쭤보고 싶었거든요. 제가 봤을 때 이제 내일 경기가 좀 굉장히 중요한 경기지 않을까. 이제 2, 3위를 지금 다투는 팀들이기 때문에 플로에 대한 좀 개인적인 지금 의견이 있고 지금 내일 경기 좀 어떻게 흘러갈 것 같으신지 예상을 한다면.
플로리다도 지금 굉장히 잘하는 팀이긴 한데 저희가 요새 분위기도 너무 좋고 한데 저희 스스로 저희한테 말리지만 않으면은 충분히 이길 수 있다고 생각합니다.
Okay. Florida is definitely a good team as well, but you know, right now, currently our Boston team, we have a good vibe, we have a great atmosphere, so if we just don't think too much deeply into everything, I'm sure the Boston Uprising is going to get the win. All right, Birdwing, that is it for the questions. Thank you so much, and again, big congratulations on getting the win. 승리 다시 한번 축하드리면서 보내드릴게요. 바이바이, 안녕. 들어가세요. 들어가세요.
I love that though. The vibes are good.
Yeah.
The
Vibes are good.
And I mean,
Great atmosphere, yeah.
yeah, Costa mentioned this last week as well. Like they did do some coaching changes during the mid-season, of course. So, you know, this is a team that is changing up their coaching a little bit. Kariv is now an assistant coach for the Boston Uprising, for example.
That is
So
true.
they're changing things up a little bit, and it seems to be paying off. Good vibes.
Good vibes all the way.
It's easy to see why. I think they looked really strong against the Defiant. I think going up against Florida Mayhem, another team a little bit similar to the Defiant in the sense that they're going to play likely lots of different comps. That's what we see all the time from Florida. But Boston, they're resolute, they're confident in their strengths, and I think they're ready to match up with anything. Happy to take the Ryan mirrors, right? Happy to take the Sigma mirrors. I don't think there's anything they're too worried about. So, I mean, I think that's probably one of the matches of the second half of the season that has like some of the most impact. So I'm glad to see they focus their